Hello, this is Mel. Welcome back to my channel, which is Reversing Heart Disease While Vegan. Today I'm going to try something different. This is the first time I've ever done a food demo. So I want to show you one of the main green smoothies that I make in the mornings. And this is a chocolate malted green smoothie. Now, making green smoothies is important to me because part of the plan requires, or suggests, not requires, but suggests having a significant amount of my food intake be from greens, leafy green vegetables, and I'm going to be using baby spinach today for that. And so making a smoothie is an easy and convenient way to incorporate greens into my diet. I have greens in other ways, like in salads. I've never been a terrific eater of greens, and so for me, I kind of like to mask the flavor of the greens so I can make something that's more palatable. So I'm going to show you how to make this smoothie. I'm going to be using this blender right here, which is a Vitamix blender. Now, if you don't have a very strong, powerful blender, it's not going to work as well for you. This Vitamix mixer is well known to be able to break up food particles or foods into small particles. And when I'm going to be mixing the spinach in there later, by the time I'm done, you can't even see that there's spinach in there, other than it affecting the color. So let's get started. Going to begin with a half a cup of non-dairy milk. This is almond milk. You could probably use anything else you want: soy milk, cashew milk, oat milk. It probably doesn't matter. So put a half a cup in here. Then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of cacao powder. Now this is 100% cacao powder, and this is the stuff I'm using right here. It's called premium raw powder, cacao powdered organic dietary supplement. And when I look at the label on the back under ingredients, all it says is organic cacao nut. So my recommendation is to get, a pure cacao powder. Don't get something that's got a bunch of sugar or additives in it. Get some good stuff for this. So I'll add 2 tablespoons. Now, before I continue, I want to pause here a second. This for me is a secret part of this formula for making a chocolate green smoothie, because before I started this diet, I was a chocolate addict, so to speak. Every once in a while, maybe every month, every couple of months, I would get on this kick where I would eat a whole bunch of chocolate candy, chocolate bars for the most part. I mean, here's an example of one right here. I try to eat the better chocolate. This is endangered species. It's luscious blueberries plus dark chocolate. It's like 72% chocolate. But even though I was eating the better chocolate, engorging myself over a period of several days to satisfy my chocolate addiction, this still is not good as far as heart disease reversal plan is concerned, because if you look at the label on the back, this candy bar is supposed to have 3 servings in it, and the total weight on this is 3 ounces, so 1 ounce is a serving. And if you look at the fat on the back of this, and that's one of the things about this diet I'm trying to keep my fat levels low, and also to reduce the amount of sugar that I consume on a regular basis. So 1 serving of this candy bar, 1 ounce, is 10 grams of fat. So if you multiply that by 3 for the total candy bar, there's 30 grams of fat in this candy bar. And then looking at the sugar, There's 9 grams per serving of sugar. Multiply that times 3. There's 27 grams of sugar, which is about 1 ounce of sugar in this one small candy bar. So one of the things I discovered after I started making these chocolate green smoothies was that my desire or craving for chocolate just like dropped down to nothing. And the reason this is really good, because the chocolate that I'm using, if I look at the nutrition label on the back, it says 0.5 grams of fat in a teaspoon. There's only 3 grams of fat when I am using this in my green smoothie. Now you can get other cocoa powders that have 0 fat in them, which is even better. And then for sugars, it says 0 grams of sugar per teaspoon of chocolate powder. All right, so by consuming this kind of chocolate, I get all the kicks, so to speak, from the chocolate, but I miss most of the fat and all the sugar that's in a candy bar. All right, so I've added the chocolate. Now I'm going to add malt powder. Now the reason I wanted to make this smoothie is because when I was a kid, one of my favorite desserts was a chocolate malt, which you could get back then in ice cream stores, and they would make it there, on the spot for you. And they would use some malt powder that had milk powder in it and sugar and probably other things. And so as a vegan, this is not something that I would want to use. So I did some searching on the internet and found a malt powder, and all it was malt powder. It's made from barley, and this is called Maltifirm 1001. It got it off of Amazon. It's made by the LD Carlson company. I'm not pushing this product, but there are other ones available, but it's a little bit hard to find. But this does the trick. And by the way, this stuff's very sticky. So I've got a bag within a bag here. You don't want to get it spilled all over the place, because you will have one sticky mess on your hands. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the malt powder. This gives the beverage the malty taste that I like, that I remember from my childhood. Then next comes the greens. Okay, these are baby spinach leaves. You can get these pretty much at any grocery store, any decent sized grocery store, health food store around the country. So here's a cup of baby spinach leaves. All right, leaves, get in there. And then, of course, you have to have a banana in your green smoothie. So this is 1 banana. It's just at room temperature. It's not frozen, but you could do that if you wanted. And then lastly, this is an important ingredient. I like mango, so I just started out using mango fruit. And it's important because what I want with this chocolate malt green smoothie, I want to kind of replicate the experience I had as a kid, which was a beverage that was chocolatey, sweet, and very, very thick. The mango chunks here, surprisingly, are very important in creating that thick, hard to pour beverage that I want in the smoothie. One day I left this out, and it turned out to be a lot thinner than expected. And when you add this mango, you really, at least I can't really taste it in there. So this is about 3/4 of a cup of mango, and I wanted to show you. You might think that this is an expensive ingredient, but I got this bag of frozen mango. It's 10 ounces. I got it at the Dollar Tree, which is a national store, so maybe there'd be one in your area. But this costs $1, you know, and I can get 3 smoothies out of this. All right, so the last thing I want to add to this before getting it going is I like my smoothies cold. And when I ordered a chocolate malt when I was a kid, it always came very cold, enough to freeze my mouth. So I'm going to add 5 ice cubes to this and go ahead and get this going. This is going to make a lot of noise, and I'm not going to, you know, run this video until this thing's complete, but I'm going to start it on low, just kind of get things mixed up a little bit, and then I'm going to raise the speed and leave it there for a minute or two until everything inside the pitcher is blended 100%. Sometimes I need to use a plunger in the top of this thing if I can't get it to spin and mix properly. So here we go. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, I think it's fully blended, so let's take a look at it. All right, it's looking fairly thick, and I'm going to go ahead and pour it in a glass here, and you can see that this is one thick chocolate malted beverage, and I like to get every last drop out of it. All right, so let's give it a taste test here. That's very good. The interesting thing here is I can't taste any of the spinach. Can't taste the mango. I can barely taste the banana. It really tastes like a chocolate malted beverage, but you know, it's not quite the same as what I remember drinking as a kid. It's not full of sugar. It's not super sweet, but it comes pretty close. And as far as helping me get my greens in during the day and helping me to control my awful chocolate addiction, and I've been doing this, you know, eating this for quite a while now. I should say drinking this for quite a while now. I haven't had, you know, I showed you that chocolate bar earlier. I have not had a chocolate bar in months. So this is really doing the trick. It's kind of, and that's kind of the secret I wanted to share with you, that if you want to get over a chocolate craving, this is one way you could do it. At least it worked for me. All right, before leaving, I wanted to mention there are other varieties you can make of chocolate green smoothies. I use this product called PB2. You may be familiar with this, but this is powdered defatted peanut butter. And so if you want a chocolate peanut butter smoothie, and you would leave out, you know, the excuse me, leave out the malt extract powder, you could use, you know, 2 to 3 teaspoons of this stuff. And when you're looking at the fat content, in 6 teaspoons, there's only 1.5 grams of fat in this product. And sugar-wise, there's only 2 grams of sugar in 6 teaspoons. So if you're only using 3 teaspoons and you have less than a gram of fat from the peanut butter and about a gram of sugar. So this also helps to keep the fat content down and the sugar content down, but give you the flavor that you'd like to have in your green smoothie. This product doesn't make the smoothie taste like a Reese's cup, but it does give kind of a mellow peanut buttery flavor. Another thing you can do is, again, leaving out the malt powder, leaving out the peanut butter powder. You could just make a chocolate smoothie and add some flavoring like peppermint oil. Doesn't take much, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of peppermint oil in that same recipe I gave earlier will give you a chocolate mint green smoothie, if you like that kind of taste. All right, signing out at this point. Hopefully this demo went okay and you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for the next video, I'm going to give another report on my lipid panel test results. Until then, see ya.